Hey guys, what's going on? It's Boris with Texas Basketball Scouts, and I'm here with Russell, Coach V, Vanlandingham, and just wanted to take a minute to talk about some of his upcoming college prep academies. For those of you who don't know, Coach V and I, we have a little bit of history. He's a ex-college coach. For those of you who don't know, he coached at multiple divisions, levels.
All levels, Boris. Every four. I got a weird resume of coaching at every 4-year level. You don't see a lot. Some people stay in Division I, they stay in Division II, maybe go up, but NAIA Division I, NCAA Division III, NCAA Division II, and NCAA Division I. I have a pretty good kind of background and experience to understand what each level takes academically and athletically to play at, and kind of what each coach at that level deals with when it comes to recruiting.
All right. And then also adding to your resume on the travel ball side, you have your own organization. You've organized teams and taken them to the highest levels of competition. So now, and you've even worked for recruiting services and things like that in the past. So all of that is who Coach V is with his experience. So now let's talk about your college prep academies. That is all you. It's something that you're running. I talk a little bit about what the college prep academies are all about.
Well, some of it came by accident. It's a full-blown LLC. Now, Uncommon Basketball is an LLC. I know you mentioned Select, but again, Select-wise, I think is for me, it's a good fix for my coaching. I love coaching. It's still my biggest passion. It's coaching the game and taking a team. And Select, you only get them a couple of days, but so that's going to always be a little bit of small portion of Uncommon Basketball, but it's not something I want to expand and run 12, 14, 16 teams. My focus is on these academies. Working for that profile service or marketing service on top of doing Select and kind of being in that environment is also kind of, simplifying what people are making very complicated. Simplifying the formula.
So what's the end result? Getting kids to college?
Getting kids to understand what it takes to get to college, being real with them, laying out a platform where they can see black and white data. So I team with this company, Biology, to kind of track progress. They've got my college prep kids uploaded. I can upload anything to help a kid get better. Now, I know at the end of the day, everybody wants to be a college player. First of all, you got to have the talent. Mm-hmm. But here's what separates the knowledge and that kid that doesn't know with a little bit of talent what college coaches are thinking. What does a college coach really want at each level? I know that. What are they universally, worried about? Because they're like, you've been there. Hey, that guy could play. He looks great. He's dunking on people at the church. And then they sign that kid? Well, there's something to it. I know exactly why. So my academies are to teach all of that in a 4-day session, plus provide what I think is the most important part for every player is, are you willing to work on the things you need to do to make yourself a college prospect?
So your academies then are for the serious player?
Well, no doubt. I don't turn anybody down, but I don't also hide what it's about. It's college level intense workouts. It's backed by data. High level testing. If you're a low tester in an area and you have a program and I have a way to track your progress, that's up to you. Here's what separates. There's about only 20% of kids in this region, and maybe it's just because they don't know or the parents have found a comfortable trainer that makes you feel good and, oh man, he's doing great. And I call that, coach told me, that's called morphine. Like when you're dying. That's what it's called. I tell kids it's called morphine. Everybody gonna make you feel good. And then your 4 years of high school are over, you got talent, you have nothing. Because everybody's made you feel good. That's what they do when you're dying. It's called morphine. So I'm not going to provide morphine at the college academy. You're going to come in and work exactly like college players work. That's all I've ever worked with. And then the Select guys taught me that they all want to be there, but only about 10% of them that I've had want to do all the things that it takes to get there.
And put them in uncomfortable situations.
And guess what? We've had 8 kids get to college, and I haven't recruited one kid with UC Hoops organization. That kind of gave me the semblance of how to help a bunch of kids. Because these guys in the Select organizations, you're taking my player, and no, I'm trying to help all kids. My goal at the college academies is to help make exposure credible with real relationships, 20 plus years of they ask me all the time about players around here. and I'll tell you what they ask about. That's why I'm running these academies. And then the second part, is not the credible, it's just to make it affordable. Kid at Sam Houston High School. If I can give them everything in 4 days and get them to 127 to 140 coaches that I know, not a random list of 500.
And let's talk about that. When you say getting them out to those coaches, I guess that's more on the exposure piece. So, like, what do you mean?
Oh, we have two kind of academies. This week's academy is like the 8th through 10th grade kid or 11th grade kid that's trying to just make varsity. I'm straight up with it. So they're both pretty similar. The first 3 days are both going to get tracked with this edition of the app and the Ballology app. And I'm going to be able to provide programs even after the 4 days to help them. They're going to be able to see if they're making progress. I'm going to teach them, like today, how to set goals. They're going to have a daily cognitive theme. And so all that is universal from college coaches to high school coaches. Just got to get it more into the kids, which is grow first. Do what it takes. Put the work in. Where are you spending your time? And then again, that part for me is what's I'm passionate about, because these kids can't do a 20-minute college warm-up like today, but they want to play college. So I want them to leave with a shot. I've given money back because they walk out. I've given the parents money back saying, hey, this is I'm simulating 4 days away from your home when you ain't got nobody patting you. This is what the first 4 days of college preseason's like. So get ready for that. Figure you can fix that. So that's both the academies offer that. The exposure piece, I have automated in the last year when I was working with that company. I automated friends of mine instead of a random list, like 42 Division I guys that are friends, 54 Division II, 59 Division III, 31 NAI Division I's, and then a couple of dozen JUCOs.
And these are all personal contacts that
Friends.
you know that you've...
Buddies.
Okay,
I
great.
call them every day. I've been doing that for a year. So what am I going to do with all that information and people asking me about players and all the what am I going to do is I'm going to kind of combine what I learned from Select. I understand exactly physically, level-wise, what it takes and try to help kids get there. And then what am I doing with the exposure piece? In my academies, it's real different.
Okay. So how?
Okay. It's when you go, even Gasso, who's the most credible to me, Texas Hoops. Mm-hmm. They've done a long time. Their rankings are credible. That's why people follow them. For the most part, they're pretty credible on where a kid is. And it's not political or anything like that. And that's why people...
You're talking about like rankings or just exposure
It's not political
in general.
or anything. Like,
okay.
I see some local ranking systems, which ain't bad, but they got the top 30 kids that everybody in the world knows about. That's anybody can do that if they looked up a deal. Will Baker, boom, boom, boom. They're like, what I'm trying to do at the exposure camp is based on college coaches' feedback over the last year. And it's simple, but people have complicated it. Motor. Does he have a motor, Coach V? What's his motor like? I got 38,000. What's his motor like, Coach V? Mentality. Is he mentally tough? What's mentally tough? I said the kids, they don't even know what that means. Mentally tough is like when there's two guys underneath the basket, and going at, like, I always use this analogy. I can't stop Boris from physically being in such great shape and playing hard and guarding me I can't stop that. So am I going to cry about it? Or am I going to go out mentally and start figuring out how to be a little uncomfortable and fight for whatever I want? So mentally tough is how do they act in adverse situations? Mm-hmm. Or are they the attacker? You can't stop a guy from attacking you that has the same dream. So that's what I teach on that side. The effort's the effort. That's simple to identify. I think most kids on the effort part are just not in condition because they don't have to go hard all the time in a high school practice or a select basketball world. It's just not the way it is. It's not the kids' fault. And I hate to say this on camera, but we fought our kids' battles for a long time. That includes high school teachers. That includes a lot of things. So that's hurting our kids. So the effort, mental toughness, and finally, the ode is their best in front of them. All right, what does that mean? Where is Billy going to be? That's why you and some of the naked eye, and then you know basketball and you're out a lot, but that's why guys are like, dang, that kid at Stevens, he's scholarship, he's a player. They signed him? Well, yeah, because he's coachable. His sophomore year, he'll be stronger and not leaving after a month. His junior year, he'll be better. He'll be better off the bounce. It's just a pit. That is he coachable? So I created an exposure camp where I test those three things every single minute of every day. And then when my report goes out, it's going to have those intangibles on top of what they know, which is if they're talented enough or not.
Mm-hmm. And that's good. I mean, and plus with, it coming from you and having your word behind it, and, you know how to talk to coaches, and I mean, they're your buddies, so you guys know the lingo and all that stuff. So
I know exactly what they want. I mean, I was the same way. I had the same nerves. I had to check like 19 times before we offered a kid. And it's just a big investment. Mm-hmm. So you expect the kids. So what I'm trying to do at the exposure camps is we do all the stuff, and the testing helps the growth and the progress. It's black and white. The informational pieces like the academics helps them eliminate external factors that they just may not know about. So I try to provide some informational stuff there in the academy. But the fourth day that I film, I set it up like my elite camps at college when I had that same mindset with one scholarship left. I just test the effort, the mentality, and I correct the heck out of them, AKA coach them, and I want to see exactly what they look like. And I'll be brutally honest on this film, if 4 kids have the talent and they progress, they don't have to be perfect. They can kick the ball or they can have a bad moment. How do they look the next set, the next play? If they do that on a day 4, I will get them absolutely offers and opportunities. So the profile world, I was just in that world, the profile services, without the growth component or the relationships, even when I got hired, I told them, and not to bash them because people, there's a service area in CSA, they edit film and some of those companies like that, and CPO Texas, there's something to them. They do have a service, but as a college coach, my biggest thing was I only looked at a quote-unquote profile film if I got a legitimate tip. So my custom list is growing. 137 automated coach friends of mine are in my database. They'll get the film of Thursday, my eval, and some of it will be watch him in the spring, and then I'll tell Johnny, you've got to fix this and this. And I don't want him to look at you now. See, there's a plan. Mm-hmm. Now, if you don't fix that and that, I've done my job. You pay money. I've given you everything I had, the information. I have no control. Johnny's got an app. He's got player development programs. He's got background information exactly from a guy who's offered scholarships. And I'm telling them in the spring, those 2 things could be being more physical down low, or it could be conditioning. I got a kid in my last academy. He's got 5 people look at him. I said, he's going to keep coming back now, but he ain't in shape yet. He's not a bad kid. See, somebody thought he was a bad kid. Now that I spent 4 days with him, he ain't a bad kid. He just had no clue what college conditioning was like. And so now maybe he takes that condition agility program that his dad talked to him about, or that high school coach, and he goes and does it and reaches his dream.
Yeah. And, I have seen some of your college prep academies, and I did see the last report that you sent out to those coaches. And, man, as an outsider looking in, that is a tremendous value to these kids and these student athletes. The report that you sent out with not only, height and weight, but detailed, descriptions of how that player plays and what division you think he can play in. The kids don't know this, but that is a huge resource, and that is something of value that you're giving these kids from an exposure piece, because you're actually putting them on a silver platter, basically, in front of these coaches. So,
well, the key is, like I said, especially with, like, if I got tips from a stranger in the business when I was coaching out in California or Wyoming, and we were in the college level, and it was a bad tip, and that player stunk, and I did a lot of research. I went out there, and he wasn't even eligible. It's probably last time, even at that. There's a coaching fraternity that I'm going to call that guy. So as I'm building my Uncommons and LLC. So as honest as I got to be at the kids to help them really reach their dream and understand that it's okay to be uncomfortable. It's okay. I also got to be real credible right now I got 137 friends based on the select and the VA situation, got me really connected back with what am I doing. I'm helping kids. They're going to call me because they know. So my tip, and that's where it kind of gave me the courage and also the insight to start my own company is, and I want to be credible. So if I'm going to tell 8 people at Division II, this is a Division II player, I got to know that he's fully qualified. I have to work with him more than a one-day 5-on-5 showcase that's already out there. That's common. So my report is more detailed. My workouts are more intense, like a college workout. It exposes or showcases effort, mentality, and can you be coached? So if you do that, I'm not going to ever hurt a kid. If it's not, he's going to get that eval, and he can look at that constructively. If somebody says, oh, that's BS, that's morphine again. Oh, that's BS, you don't need that. That's the guy hurting a kid. Hey, behind that curtain, oh, you don't need that coaching hard. Everyone that's allowed me to coach them, even with the UC Hoops and without this exposure piece, because I started UC Hoops with, I don't want anything to do with this exposure select rule. I want kids to get back to, let me show you what are you going to do to reach your dreams. So every kid that's fought through the UC Hoops program, 8 of them have gotten offers. And I haven't recruited anybody. And I didn't push anybody. So that kind of reiterated again what I already knew. And that guy always gets rewarded. I'm going to tell kids tonight, the first night, yeah, you get rewarded by working hard. Block out those noises. Turn off your phone. You always benefit. I got nothing to gain except getting you an offer. If you fight it, so that's my deal with the exposure piece is it's going to be credible. I know one thing I'll guarantee without a doubt, and it'll branch. And here's the thing with Texas Hoops, with the 137 coaches that know me for sure right now, that'll turn to 237 as long as I'm giving them leads. I need a 4. I need a 2. I need a point guard. They're getting guys and signing kids, and then these other kids my 24 slots will fill really fast. That's my goal. If you want to know, I want to get some kids signed from this academy. This week is kind of the 8th through 10th grade. I kind of get split it up. I mean, eventually I want to just be moving straight to the exposure camps only and maybe doing some player development for the younger kids and using that app more at that kind of 8th through 10th grade. But right now I'm kind of doing both just to grow the business. And next Monday is the exposure camp. There's currently 17, 18 kids from San Antonio to Austin signed up. Some really good ones and some guys that are unknown and some guys that are fighting for a chance that are all district players, that kind of kid. And maybe, and I'm just being, and this is beating the odds still, maybe 4 of them have those 3 intangibles we talked about and enough talent that I can see them playing at some level. Then I'm going to get them to 17 coaches that run a style play. That's another thing. Are they really fast and aggressive? I mean, I can't send IQ shooter that, again, credibility. I'm going to get the right kids in the right hands, and that increases their opportunities if they do those things. So, that part for me, that starts next Monday. It's the only one I'm doing in the fall because I'm branching out and doing some regional camps in each area of the state of Texas to help 24 kids instead of 100 5-on-5 showcases. Go help some kids before the season begins October 27th or 24th.
So you're starting here in San Antonio, but it's not going to end here in San Antonio.
No, after these 2 camps this week, I got back-to-back camps this week. I'm heading to San Angelo, and again, the high school coaching community friends that I used to recruit all over Texas. I mean, I know a lot of high school coaches. I'm letting them pick. Hey, man, find your best 2019 kids or 2019 kids, and the ones that have the high character, the high motor. I'm almost in the other regions. I'm almost kind of encouraging that. They got to be all district. They got to have a shot based on your view, but also, hey, don't bring a guy that has no shot. It's going to waste his time and waste my time. So I'm not going up there for one day and with all these bells and whistles. I'm going up there for 4 days. I want to spend some time with them. I want to sports science test them. I want to put them through the hard college condition and agility workout. I want to have those same kind of time out in San Angelo, El Paso, the Valley, East Texas, North Texas, wherever, with these kids. And maybe I get 4 or 5 on the radar through the way we're doing it. And again, this is a lot of it based on almost every conversation in a hotel lobby like this with college friends. What their biggest headaches are, and it ain't the no-brainer. It's that kid that, you got 20 that are all 6'5", 6'6", and they're all good, and they're all scholarship kids. Now I got to start scratching them off my board.
What are some of those intangibles?
Yeah, and that's where eventually I want to add a recruiting piece, or a marketing piece to the kids that have all the intangibles. They're under recruited and need really, and I'm only gonna offer that. One of the things, again, kind of being in select and working for a company, for me, is you're gonna either have to spend some time with me and show me. He's a much better sophomore than he was a freshman, or a much better junior, and I like him. I'll go meet with your family now, because you have walked the walk. You've taken the resources, the materials, the academic guidelines, and done something for your life. Now I'm going to move heaven and earth. And so when I pick somebody up on the marketing piece in the spring, or over Christmas break when high school ball gets rolling, I'm going to be about 95% accurate that he's going to end up with a scholarship, instead of the opposite, offering 95% this fantasy world of, you get locked in 10th grade with a lot of these people that are promising stuff, and you either better be a college player or not, or you're going to waste about $4,000, $5,000. So again, making it affordable, make it credible. When I send a name or a tip from this academy next week in San Antonio, I want those 3 kids to get immediate phone calls, and I want those 3 kids to absolutely exude what I told those coaches. And so it's going to be, I think, a really good thing for all entities.
Definitely. It's definitely a good resource for the kids here in San Antonio. So personally, I'd encourage you to take a look at Coach V's website, check him out on Twitter, look up his college prep academies, and enroll in the academy and get the experience.
And it's fun, like I said, like anything. Like when I left Texas State to start Our Lady of the Lakes basketball program from the ground up, it didn't have scholarships, it didn't have gym, it didn't have a low. I feel that same way and that same excitement about saying, hey, I'm going to make this an LLC. What other experience do you need? Now, I ain't saying I'm perfect or the greatest thing since sliced bread, or I'm going to get every kid, but my intentions, my experience, my relationships, and understanding how to get from point A to point B, everybody can benefit from that. Mm-hmm. Now, here's where I can sleep at night, is if I give you all that, I have no control if you're going to do the daily actions, because there's a lot of good high school players that it's going to take to reach your dream. So when I come with you at the marketing piece and the future, I know that I've been with you. You've taken daily actions. Now I'm going to move heaven and earth to get you every secret in the book and get you into every hand. So basically you're going to end up with multiple opportunities. But it's backwards. So I started UC Hoops, where everybody said, I'm going to get you this. I heard that in the hallway. Hey, you're going to get this. I'm going to get you. No. That player, he's going to get that. I got nothing to do. That's what I tell UC Hoops players. And everybody in this room is equal. Whoever's going to work the hardest for their dream and walk the walk, you're going to get the reward, not me. I'm going to teach all of y'all to get a scholarship. Everyone that's walked the walk, I don't want to name names on camera, I've had a couple of kids go from 7 points per game and finish 7th in San Antonio to a full scholarship.
I've seen them.
And there's some kids, and that's no secret to that. You wake up and you work for your dream. So the more kids I can reach like that, great. If there's kids in my academy that possess that and they're good enough, I'm absolutely going to help their exposure.
All right. Well, Coach V, it's been a pleasure. Again, where can people go to learn more about
UncommonBball.com. All my information's up. We still have 6 spots open in next week's camp. If you're a 2019 kid that's all district type, or you're getting under recruited and you're the best player on your high school team. Or if you're one of the top 2020s, you have to be you have to have some honor if you're a 2020, like an all district first team or a 2-year starter. But if you're a 2019 who is, seeking some extra exposure and you're a starter and you have some accolades, it'd be a great camp for you. Whether you get this college scholarship or not, you're going to get a platform and all the resources that'll help you before your senior year. So that's what you want to do now. Be proactive.
Absolutely. Well, Coach V, thanks again. And guys, I encourage you to visit uncommonbball.com.
Twitter is @SA _get recruited.
All right, y'all go check that out. If you have any questions, reach out to Coach V. He'll be happy to talk to you. He's a good guy, good friend of mine, and looking forward to all the great things that you're going to continue to do here for the people of San Antonio.
All right, Boris, thanks, man.